What up, y'all? It is your boy Alan C. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Alan C. The place to be. Shout out to my sideline talk team. Herb, what up? John, what up? Tay, what up? Miss y'all. But this is another episode of Al You Buggin. Um, Preseason football. I didn't realize that preseason football will be on Friday night when I said I would do, 2 shows a week. Didn't realize it was going to be on. So, we're in the middle of the preseason, week 2. Some games are on now. Some games just went final while I'm recording this or while I'm live on YouTube for y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get into Thursday night's game. Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns, right? They played Thursday night football, and it ended in a tie. This is the first tie since the NFL got rid of the overtime rules. They voted to end the overtime or to get rid of overtime in preseason this offseason. And it's the first game that ended in a tie. So, 18-18. Philadelphia Eagles, Cleveland Browns. They both got some work in. They both, play good defense. DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. She's been turning heads at training camp and so far this preseason. And he played another clean game this week. 13 for 25, 13 completions and 25 passes. No turnovers, but no touchdowns. There was a media report about Watson playing bad all week at the joint practices, struggling. In my opinion, there's much ado about nothing. I think Dorian is a good backup quarterback. He's electric. DTR is the future. He's the future. I don't know if he's the future of Cleveland, but he is the future. He is the wave of where quarterbacks are going. He has that athleticism. He has that wow factor. He has that shot. But Watson, he got 260 million guaranteed reasons why he's going to be starting in Cleveland for the foreseeable future. But also, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to their very first pick in this draft, Cedric Tillman. He caught 2 passes for 50 yards in their preseason game, their preseason opener, or I'm sorry, not opener, excuse me. Their week 2 game, which is technically their third game. He was their first pick, third round draft pick. Remember, Cleveland traded their first 2 picks in this draft to Houston to acquire Deshaun Watson. Another 2 reasons of why he's going to be the future in Cleveland for the foreseeable future. But that third round pick was their actual first draft pick. Cedric Tillman, wide receiver out of Tennessee, big route runner, and definitely gets separation vertically as well. Big, strong wide receiver. Caught 2 passes for 50 yards. On the other side, Philly, they played their first round pick, Jalen Carter, about a total with 7 snaps over the last 2 weeks of preseason. He looked good in those limited reps, but I doubt if he plays any next week. N'Kobe Dean played a little bit, got banged up, had to come out the game. Eagles also had injuries to Olamide Zaccheaus. Him and Nolan Smith both had shoulder stinger injuries. Cornerback Zach McPherson, who's been having a great camp, look to get some time, some reps, in their depth. This season. Unfortunately, he tore his Achilles and he's going to miss the upcoming season. And then it also looked like there was some scary injuries to wide receiver Tyree Cleveland and rookie defensive tackle Moro Ojamo. Both of them had to be stretched out the game, but they were responsive on the field and they had full function of their extremities, before they left. I think they both gave a thumbs up. I know Ojamo definitely gave a thumbs up on his way off the field. So, both injuries, luckily, unfortunately, for how they actually looked, they both turned out to be concussions. That's a good thing. But it was a lot to risk and a lot on the line, when it came to injuries. Speaking of injuries, here in Baltimore, injury bug bites us again. Marlon Humphrey, former All-Pro corner, Marlon Humphrey, set to have foot surgery and will miss about a month. Hopefully this don't sideline him or hinder him for too long. But damn it. Last year I said wide receiver. I joked around and said, man, we have Rashad Bateman ankle injury away from having to line up Isaiah Likely at wide receiver. What do we have to wind up doing? Line up Mark Andrews up there at wide receiver. Now in this year, I'm saying, man, we don't have no cornerback depth. And our best corner, Lord have mercy, our best corner gets hurt. I'm gonna just stop talking. But I was already skeptical with the cornerback depth, the defensive back depth, and in general. But and this is definitely not going to help. Definitely not going to crawl this over. Not going to crawl this skepticism at all. We got Rock Ya-Sin that's still out. We got Pepe that's still out. We got Arthur Marlette still out. Pepe probably going to have to start the year on IR. He probably won't be ready until October. So Pepe is going to be coming back in October. Jalen Alma-Davis, he's back to practicing, thank God. So he's back. He looks like he's ready to go. The Ravens also brought in 2 defensive backs this week. Defensive back DeAndre Houston Carson joined the team, and we signed Ronald Darby when the news that Marlon Humphrey having to miss time broke. DeAndre has special teams experience. He's going to be looking to get in the role and help out there. And Darby, coming over from the Broncos the last 2 years, started a couple of games. So, he's probably going to be our outside corner. Him and probably Rock Ya-Sin going to be our outside corners. Me personally, if I had a personal pick to have and to who I hope will sign with the Ravens next, it'd be Bryce Callahan. Bryce Callahan played with the Chargers last year. He did pretty well. I think he plays inside and outside. He can play the slot and he can play on the outside. So, we can somehow get Bryce Callahan to come to Baltimore for a low, for the low. Callahan, Darby, Rock Ya-Sin, and then hopefully not too long, Marlon gets back. That right there is decent depth in your defensive backfield. That right there is 4 solid corners I can work with. You can rotate in and out. I can work with that. Those 2 aren't the only 2 signings in Baltimore this week. Ravens also added defensive piece and defensive end, Jadeveon Clowney. I think this move will help with the pass rush that we need. Definitely need some help in the pass rush. He can play inside with the 2 O's, Ojabo and Odafe, playing on the outside, or he can play outside. I think he's going to play that veteran role that we had with Justin Houston and JPP when they came in last year. What they were able to do as far as lead and, be the veteran presence to play inside and outside, set the edge. I think Jadeveon Clowney can do that. I think it's a low risk, high reward for the salary that we gave him. Ronald Darby and Jadeveon Clowney both signed 1-year deals. So low risk, high reward. He had a recent visit with the Jaguars. So I think that kind of sped up the clock, and also the Marlon Humphrey injury. Pass rush helps out the defensive backs and vice versa. So I think, I would have wanted for them to wait, pass rush and corner on cut day. When you got to get the roster down to 53 men by 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. That's what I thought was going to happen, since I knew he wasn't going to be in training camp. And, we already interviewed and worked out Kyle Van Noy, and it looked like there was mutual interest there. I was like, okay, we can go ahead and wait. It was a lot of corners that came in. It's a lot of defensive ends and edge rushers that came in. So just like with anything, if people are coming in, it's the same 53 man. Somebody got to go out. So I was thinking, all right, cool. We wait till cut day, see if we get cut. If nobody better becomes available and, ready to go, there's already been the can, there's already been the shape. All right, cool. We can look at Kyle Van Noy or we can look back at Jadeveon Clowney. But, injuries happen. Now we ain't got that luxury to sit back and wait for these signings. So I think that kind of sped up the process as well. If you've watched the show on the last one that I recorded, you see that I'm doing the all division teams. Last week, or I keep calling it last week. Last show, I did the all AFC team, all AFC East team. Sorry. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the all NFC East team. I'm gonna go ahead and create all division team. It's gonna have 2 quarterbacks, gonna have 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, 2 tackles, 2 guards in the center, and 4 wide receivers. That's gonna be my offense. Then on the defensive side of the ball, pick 4 edge rushers, 2 interior defensive linemen, 2 middle linebackers, 2 corners, and 2 safeties. When I say edge rushers, I'm counting outside linebackers as well as defensive end. Let me say it again. Edge rushers are going to be outside linebackers and defensive ends, right? And then to go along with this team, I'm going to go ahead and pick who I want to be the head coach, who I want to be offensive coordinator, and who I want as my defensive coordinator for this team. Let's go ahead and bring that up. I'm going to go ahead and back out for a second. Go ahead and put this on the full screen for you. All right. All AFC, all NFC East division. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to start with 2 quarterbacks. First quarterback, y'all know what it is. Jalen Hurts. Super Bowl participant last year. Second in MVP voting last year. Jalen Hurts is that deal. Jalen Hurts is going to be my first quarterback pick for this division. Right? My second quarterback pick for this division, I'm going with Dak Prescott. Fairly simple, fairly easy. Dak Prescott last year led the league in interceptions, but I'm definitely taking Dak Prescott over the Giants' Daniel Jones and over the Commanders, who just named first week starter, Sam Howell. Definitely going over them too. And then on my my running backs, I'm picking 2 of those. First one, it's going to be my man Saquon, a.k.a. Pay That Man. Saquon Barkley last year, Mr. Do It All, had amazing stats last year. He's been, ever since he can play for the Giants, he's been nothing but amazing for that offense. He had 295 carries last year, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns on the rushing tip. And then receiving, he also had another 338 yards as well. 21 yards a game as a receiver out the backfield. My second running back, shout out to Tony Pollard. Shout out to DeAndre Swift, who's in Philly. Shout out to Antonio Gibson, who's in the Commanders. But I'm going with Brian Robinson Jr. Easy selection right here. Brian Robinson Jr. last year, if you don't know, he was shot in a robbery gone bad last year during preseason and missed a couple of games, but he was able to start 9 last year for a total of 797 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm expecting him to pick that up this year and expecting him to play very well this year. I'm going Brian Robinson Jr. for my second running back. Now let's go ahead and switch over to wide receiver. All right, pick a 4 here. Anybody who knows me knows my guy, top 5 in the league, A.J. Brown. Y'all know. A.J. Brown was nothing short of amazing last year. He had about 1,500 yards last year, 1,496 and 11 touchdowns, 88 catches in 16 games. Or 17 games, sorry. Played all 17 games, almost 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. Secondly, who I'm going with second in this division, my other guy. I think he might be fairly underrated, for putting up the numbers that he put up with mediocre at best quarterback. Scary Terry McLaurin, had 77 catches, 1,200 yards, and 5 touchdowns last year. Right? So that's gonna be my second wide receiver in this division. My third wide receiver in this division, I'm going with Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper himself, Smitty. Had 95 catches, almost 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns last year. He played very well last year as the number 2 receiver there. And my fourth wide receiver, who I'm going with fourth here in this division, CeeDee Lamb. Had 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, 107 catches. You know, you hear those numbers and you ask me, why was Devontae ahead of CD? Devontae Smith got 1,500 yards on the other side, plus a tight end, and put up number 1 yards. Whereas CD don't have any of that, and he's putting up number 2 yards. So Devontae ahead of CeeDee Lamb for me, personally. That's my list. You can say, "Are you bugging?" That's the name of the show anyway. So that's my list. My 2 tight ends here. Walking to the division, Darren Waller. Easy choice for me. He had a down year last year, but he still managed to get 388 yards and 3 touchdowns in 9 games. Only got a chance to start 6 of them. So that's going to be my first tight end. My second tight end, I always thought it was ironic that Philly moved ahead of Dallas to draft Dallas. I always thought that was hilarious. It was a big troll move for them and to stick it to their rival because they definitely needed Dallas Goedert after the retirement of Jason Witten. But they went on and got Dallas Goedert. Played 12 games last year, got a 702 yards and 3 touchdowns or 55 catches last year. So that's my tight ends. Now let's go ahead and go to the linemen. Let's go to the center, right? A lot of hoopla is made, and rightfully so, because he's the best tight end in football, probably for the football history. Travis Kelce, but his brother, is just as good as a center, probably best center in the league. Jason Kelce, definitely going Jason Kelce here. I think Jason Kelce is amazing as a center. He's getting a little longer in the tooth there, but he still is very efficient when he's out there playing. And then my guards, come on, first guard, y'all know what it is. Mr. 99 Club himself, Zach Martin. Madden just came out this week. If you ain't got it, go ahead, cop it. But Zach Martin, right, played amazing as guard. One of the best, he is the best guard in football, right? On the other guard, give me Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson is amazing as well, playing guard. I'm taking both of those. And then I'm going with the tackles. First tackle, give me Lane Johnson. Tough as nails. You know, he got hurt last year towards the end. And he was like, "Oh, no, don't put me on IR. I'll be back. Go ahead and get y'all to the Super Bowl real quick." Play pretty much with one arm there. And then Andrew Thomas, I'm going with the other tackle. Had a very rough start to the NFL, very rough rookie year. I was hearing conversations of him possibly being a bust. And then he fixed that very quick. I think Andrew Thomas is the best tackle or best offensive lineman on a not so good offensive line in New York. So that's my offensive line. On my tackles, I'm going Lane Johnson and Andrew Thomas. At my guards, I'm going Zach Martin and Landon Dickerson. And in the center, you got Jason Kelce. So go ahead. That's my offense, right? Let's go ahead and switch over to the defensive side of the ball. Let's go ahead and give edge rushers a shot. My first edge rusher, first player coming off the edge, needs no introduction at all. You'll know it is. Very easy. Always in the defensive rookie of the year conversation when he was a rookie. One that got that. Then he instantly went into defensive player of the year conversations. It's Michael Parsons. In his third year, he's being considered, the next LT. If you got any type of LT comparisons on you as an edge rusher, you were doing something right. Michael Parsons, my first edge. Second, on the other edge, we had DeMarcus Lawrence, the long arm of the law. D-Law playing the other edge for me, DeMarcus Lawrence. My third player is going to be Montez Sweat in Washington. I'm going to go ahead and give Washington some love here. I like Sweat a lot. Again, play very versatile, play inside and outside. So I'm going to go with him. My fourth one could have easily been Hassan Reddick. That's my guy. I love Hassan Reddick. Could have easily been 1, 2, or 3. Well, not 1. Michael got 1 lot there. But could have easily been 2 or 3. Or 4. But I'm doing a little bit of projection here with Tez and a little bit more with Kayvon. But I'm going Kayvon Thibodeau as my defensive end or my fourth edge rusher. He was suspended a little bit to start the season last year, but came in and played very well. I expect those numbers to go up this year. I'm going to go ahead and go with a bold prediction this early and say he got double-digit sacks. I don't think that's bold of a prediction at all, but I think he only had 3 last year. So he's going to more than triple that this year and get 10. I'm going with Kayvon. Defensive tackles. First one, the best defensive tackle in the NFC, not named Aaron Donald. Best nose tackle in the NFC, not named Aaron Donald. It's going to go by the name of Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is amazing as a zero tech. Amazing zero tech. All right. Shout out to Han. I could have easily went Han here. Fletcher, old man Fletch up there in Philly, my guy as well. So shout out to him. I'm going Jonathan Allen. He's been amazing since days of Alabama, and he's still going strong. Love Jonathan Allen. Love everything he does. So I'm going with Jonathan Allen. Right here's my second defensive tackle in the NFC East. Let's go ahead and go to the middle linebackers. First middle linebacker I'm going with. Easy choice. Very easy choice. Great leadership, ability. Sideline to sideline. Leighton Vander Esch. Plays like his hair's on fire. Love Leighton Vander Esch. Love watching him play. My other middle linebacker here. Walk to the NFC East again. Bobby Okereke. He played very well in Indianapolis, especially missing Darius Leonard. Last year, definitely held down the middle. Again, sideline to sideline. Great leadership. Bobby Okereke is going to be my middle linebacker here. At corner, picking 3 here, right? My first corner, shut down, big pay, big play, Slay. Darius Slay. Had 3 picks last year, 4 interceptions. I think he had 4 interceptions last year. Let me go ahead and check my numbers real quick. Darius Slay played very well, very shut down last year. Had a hell of a game. He had 3 interceptions last year. Had a hell of a game against who I consider the best wide receiver. And we're going to go down close as we get to the season. We're going to do another tier of wide receivers. Well, I think is the best wide receiver in the game. And Justin Jefferson, Darius Slay had a very great game on him. So I'm going Slay as the first corner. Lock down, follow your best man all the way over the field. Lock him down. Second one is Stephon Gilmore coming over from the Colts. I think Gilmore got some left in the tank, and he's going to go ahead and be that man-to-man lockdown corner for Dallas. I'm picking him. And last one is going to be Trey Diggs. Trevon Diggs, I'm not really a big fan of. I think he gives up as much yards as he gives up big, or takes away big plays. But Trevon Diggs, I'm going to go ahead and go with my third corner here. Just because I'm not a hater. I think I don't particularly care for him, but I think he's one of the best corners in the league as well, in the same breath, when it comes to taking the ball away. He does what he does as far as taking the ball away very well. And only Marcus Peters, has done that better since Trey been in the league. And then lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and pick two safeties for this division. First safety I'm going with, welcome again, shout out to Washington. I'm going with Cameron Curl. And the last safety I'm going with is Javon Curse. Pick both of these safeties. I think both of them will have amazing years this year. And those are going to be my two safeties for this division. Like I said, I'm going to go with a coach for this division. I'm going to go with a head coach that I think, last show I went with the rings. I went with Belichick. This year I'm going with the Super Bowl appearance. Or this week, sorry. This show. No, I keep saying week. This show, I'm going with the guy who was just in the Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni is going to be my head man here. All right. Offensive coordinator. I'm going with the Giants head coach, Brian Daboll. And defensive coach, I'm going to go ahead and give me Riverboat Ron. I'm going Riverboat Ron as the defensive coach here in that division. So that's going to be my all NFC East team. Again, this is subject to change. I might do this again, Super Bowl week and see who I got, if any of these change at all. But like I said, there's preseason games on right now, and preseason games all this week or this weekend. And, the question is, who should we watch? There's a lot of games going on. Who should we watch? I don't know who y'all are watching, who y'all looking for. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all who I'm looking for. We're going to go to San Fran and look at that backup quarterback situation. Sam Darnold versus Trey Lance. Is there any type of separation going on over there? I don't think either one of them played particularly well against Las Vegas last week. Hopefully, going against the Broncos, we can see if they pick up that game. If either one of them pick up their game, to who's going to be that number 2 quarterback and behind Brock Purdy. Neither one of them did play well enough to challenge Brock for a starting spot. But, we will see if they can play better this week for that backup spot. Bryce Young played against the New York Giants. I got to go ahead and rewind that back because they played tonight while I was taping this. So I'm going to go ahead and watch Bryce Young. I want to see if, the rookies can pick it up this week. If they improve upon their first start last week and see if they play any better. Speaking of rookie, let's go to Tennessee. I'm looking at Will Levis. Let's see if Will Levis can pick it up or play better. I think, it's a battle for second place between him and Malik Willis. The rookie last year, Malik Willis, and then the rookie pick this year, Will Levis. One of y'all is going to be the second quarterback in Tennessee. One of y'all are going to be looked towards to, replace Ryan Tannehill if y'all up to the challenge. So I want to see if Will Levis and Malik Willis are both, if they play better and see if they can, challenge Ryan for that spot. And then I'm going to go and check out Chicago Bears versus the Indianapolis Colts. You got Justin Fields on one side, who has wide receiver help now. He has a little bit of offensive line help. Let's see. And then newly, named number 1 quarterback in Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson. Very raw talent, but he has some natural God-given ability. Let's see if he capitalizes on that this week, playing against the Bears defense. I don't know if you guys watch Hard Knocks. That's on HBO Max app. But there's been a lot made, and if you watch that show, you see Robert Saleh ripping that offensive line a brand new one. Even in interviews, Aaron Rodgers was talking about, offensive line got to play better. So let's see if they heed the code. And this will be that third preseason game. Let's see if they get more cohesion and play better this week after being called out. Let's see. And then I'm also looking forward to last week's rookie star, who I named the rookie star last week, Aiden O'Connell. He's playing against the Rams. I want to see if last week was a fluke or is he really like that. And, again, they playing against Skelly's. I just want to see if he has that confidence, if he has that fast read progression that he had last week and, avoids the mistakes. So he's playing against the Rams. I'm going to check that one out. And then on Monday night, the Ravens take on the Washington Commanders. Y'all know I'm watching that. So here's some things that I want to see on Monday night. I want to see if Ojabo, who played the first preseason week, let's see if he can get a sack this week. I think he put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks last week, but I don't think he ever actually got home to actually get a sack. So let's see if he picks up one this week. I want to see what wide receivers separates themselves to actually make the team. You already know Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers, Nelly Aguilar, the top four. I think Devin Duvernay his spot reserved because he's a punt returner as well. But let's see who takes that 6th or 7th spot if we keep 7 receivers. Let's see if anybody can separate themselves down there and see, if we get a clearer picture on that. Also looking to see if we can get a clearer picture on who's going to start that left guard spot. Big Salah started the first week. I'm going to see if he gets another start or if someone else, goes in there and see if they can play better. I think Salah played very well. Well, not well, but I don't think he played bad at all. I think he played solid. And I think he's going to be a project player this year. So I think it was right that they put him in the first preseason game, let him get a lot of reps, let him get his let him get his legs wet in the preseason. And like I said, he's going to be a project player. I don't expect him to start week 1 unless it was a catastrophe somewhere. But let's see if we can find out who's going to start week 1. I'm going to go ahead and go with a bold prediction for preseason. I think Ham and Jeremiah Moon, I think both of them get a sack. And just to make that even bolder, I think they both get 2 sacks this Monday going up against Washington. Washington and Baltimore practiced for 2 days this week, and they got a little testy. They got, they were some scuffles, some dust-ups, if you will. That's the word that Harbaugh chose to use. They had some dust-ups. The rookie Emmanuel Forbes and Tyler Wallace was throwing blows, and tight end Mark Andrews, belly to belly, suplex the kid, who has a strained rotator cuff now. He's day to day. But I told y'all stop messing with Mark. Boy, crazy. But you don't listen. So we're after that tough week and, getting embarrassed there. I think they come into this game, looking to play better than they played or, better than they practiced this week. And they're definitely gunning to take down that Ravens 24-game preseason streak, that preseason win streak. I don't particularly like it, but, I think they definitely coming, to try to stop that 24-game win streak, after, being tossed around all practice all week long. So that's my predictions for this week. My bold predictions, my guesses for this week. As you can see right here, follow LU Buggin on X and Instagram at L_U_Buggin. That's L_U, the letter U, _Buggin. One more time for the people in the back. At L_U, that be you, the letter U, Buggin, Buggin, on Twitter, which is now X, and on Instagram. Follow. Right. Again, when I said I was going to be doing Friday shows, I didn't know the preseason games was going to be coming on Fridays. I had normally on Thursdays. I thought I would have a lot of preseason games to break down, but it was only one preseason game this week. Next week, there's supposed to be a lot of preseason games on Thursdays, and we're probably going to see a lot of guys that's on the bubble or trying to make the team because it's the last preseason week, and then the following week they got to get down to the 53-man roster. So we're going to see. But normally Fridays is going to be game predictions, who I'm picking to play, injury report updates, because this is the last day of practice. You're going to see who's day to day, who's ruled out already while I'm picking some games. And college football. College football is supposed to be starting back up pretty soon, or about to be starting up pretty soon. So, getting y'all ready for the Saturday games, which the top 25 matchups. What matchups I'm going to be watching. I know SEC, but I'm going to be talking about all the divisions. All the divisions are getting a makeover. There's no more Pac. There's no more Pac-12 anymore. Most of them are joining some of them are joining the Big 12. Some of them are joining the SEC. Trying to get the NBC NIL deals. So, we're going to be talking about college football on Fridays. Again, I thought I was going to have more preseason games to break down, but obviously not. Not until next week. So again, y'all follow the show on the social medias. We follow back. Be blessed. Be productive. Be more. We love you. We out.